Hello, I'm the Resolute Cartographer, and this is the 150th video in my Fallout 76 Surveyal series, and this is Haven Church. Taking a look at the map, we're here in the Mire. We're on the main highway here, north of Harper's Ferry and south of the Crevasse Dam. So, let's take a look at this place. In terms of the enemies you're going to find here, it kind of varies. Generally, inside you're going to find feral ghouls. In fact, I think that's every time you're going to find feral ghouls. Now, along with that, you might find some bugs. Sorry, my cat is climbing my chair and going a little crazy. So you might find some bugs. And so in terms of bugs, blood bugs, I also have had a single tick come after me in there. I've also found super mutants fighting a Deathclaw right out here. And then along with that, there is an Owlet that I've found sitting up on the roof making really weird noises. Okay, so in terms of collectible nodes here, you can find some glowing fungus and rhododendron. The rhododendron is actually right there. It doesn't show up well because it's a night vision scope, so we'll walk over there. Right there you go. Rhododendron. And along with that, glowing fungus seems to grow all over the place. So there's some right over there, and there's some more right over there, and I think there's even some inside. Okay, so in terms of collectibles, there's a recipe and a bobblehead and a magazine that shows up here, and I'll show you where each one of those spots are when we get in there. This is a very interesting spot. There's a lot of lore connected to it, in fact, what we can find inside. Along with that, this is also a spot that's mentioned in the Grafton Pawn Shop questline, but that's not really what we're here for today. What we're here for is the pieces of lore that we're going to read inside, and then along with that, I'm going to show you a little clip that I took at night, because this is one of the spots in the Fallout universe where supernatural does seem to factor in. We've seen that in spots with cultist activity, and this is another spot that doesn't seem to actually be cultist, but it does seem to have some supernatural activity inside. So we also have some wind chimes there, so if you're looking to get the aluminum, you can go after those. But we're going to follow this little path. Now, of course, if you're not familiar with what made the Mire, this area was not like this always. Before the bombs, before the destruction of the Gek in Vault 94, this area was forest and hills. There was no swamp here. But now, with the destruction of the Gek in 2078, we now have all these red vines all over the place. The ground is sunken down. It's like a swamp out here. Anyway, though, let's head in here, and we're going to learn a little bit about the early days after the bombs and some of the horrible things that happened here at Haven Church. This is actually one of the early spots to learn about ghoul history. Or one of the spots to learn about early ghoul history, I should say. Like I said, blood bugs in here. And along with that, I think they just killed a ghoul. Okay, wow. This is the first time I've really worn this armor. So you can potentially find a magazine right here. Now, along with that, if we come around here, you get a little lectern. And in terms of the main junk component you're going to find here, by the way, it's very little junk you're going to find here, but the junk you're going to find here for most is cloth, and it's from these burned books right here. Now there's a little bit of medicine here on the ground. It's RadAway this time. The first time through it was diluted RadAway. Along with that, we got some ammunition that spawns here next to this ammo box. Now here, and that noise is the owlet on the roof. That's the owlet. It's a little, nearly featherless bird. Let's take care of this. Whatever, it's flying away. Let me see if I can find this thing, because it is very strange looking. There it is. There's your owlet. Even though its mouth isn't moving, that's the thing that's making that noise. Alright. So the first... Okay, also, there's a ambassador from Vault 94 here, dead. Along with that, we have Lucy Harwick's note. This is one of the spots you can find this. If you're reading this, then you've become one of the changed. People call you hateful things like monsters and ghouls. The truth is you're no different than they are. They're simply scared of their own possible future. Nature has decided this is what to become of you, therefore it was meant to be. I wanted you to know that, despite the hatred, there is a home for you. It's a place where you can gather with others, like yourself, to weather the storm. Find us at the Valley Galleria Ruins in Appalachia. We promise to welcome you with open arms and, more importantly, open hearts. Lucy Harwick. Now, unfortunately, Lucy's settlement for the ghouls was raided by people from Harper's Ferry, and it was destroyed. Oof. Level 100, deadly glowing one. Not what I was hoping to find here. Ooh, charred feral ghoul. What the heck? Where are you going? Are you both your arms gone? Okay. Okay, well it seems like something's after me. Probably that blood bug. The Owlet, though it shows up red and in the name, it is not actually hostile. The next bit of lore is in here. Hey, the Bobblehead showed up. So it's not always an explosive Bobblehead, but this is the spot where the Bobblehead shows up. Now if we come through here... Oh, there's a... Yep, there's another charred feral ghoul. There we go. Not terribly difficult to take on when their arms are crippled. Oh! There we go. Diseased, gangrenous feral ghoul. Gave me a disease. Radworms, I believe it was. Now, you can find a recipe right here. Ooh, this one I haven't learned before. Fried deer skins. Okay. Okay, multiple notes here. One here, Pamela's note. Then there's the fall retreat flyer. And the formal complaint that's found in this file cabinet. We'll start with the fall retreat flyer. Annual Fall Retreat. Join us for the annual Fall Retreat at Dolly Sod's. Basic food and drinks will be provided, but an additional table will also be set up for potluck dishes. Activities have been organized for both children and adults. When? October 30th at 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sorry, yeah, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Where Dolly Sod's. This event is hosted by Scout Master Charlie. Okay. Then along with that, we've got Pamela's note. Tom, I'm leaving this note in case I'm not here when you arrive. Things have been horrible at the church. We're overloaded with people sheltering, praying, and suffering. After only a few weeks, our supplies are running low. I've decided to head out with some people to look for food and medicine. If I end up not coming back, don't come looking for me. Stay with the kids, keep them safe, and pray with the others. God help us all, Pamela. And formal complaint. There's the blood bug out there. Dear Pastor Williams, I was picking up my Susie from Sunday school when I encountered an extremely rude and foul-tempered Miss Nanny by the name of Chloe. I believe she's property of the Davis family. This Miss Nanny refused to leave the washroom, declaring she was hiding in a game of hide-and-seek. Not only was she a robot hiding in a washroom that living, breathing souls need to use, but she'd also locked the door, barring any chance for a child to find her regardless. I demand an apology from the Davis family, and I want their Miss Nanny banned from the premises. Expect to hear from our lawyer, should I ever see that filthy robot on the grounds again. Sincerely, Beverly Klein. Okay, first of all, a couple things. This Miss Nanny, Chloe, is actually mentioned before, and I've talked about it before in my lore video on Berkeley Springs. I did not know this note was here. And the Miss Nanny, the Davis family is actually trying to get this thing solved because the Miss Nanny is specifically ignoring their daughter that they got it for in the first place. Because this Miss Nanny was supposed to be basically the babysitter for their kid, but she is known to constantly play hide and seek to avoid the children. And in this case, she's actually locked herself in a bathroom to avoid dealing with the kid, which I think is honestly just kind of hilarious. Oh yeah, the terminal back here. But you know what? I want to take care of that feral ghoul. What the? Oof. My aim is not good here. But you know, at the same time, when the damage I do is this little like pinprick of damage with a 45 round. At the same time, he's not really hitting very often, is he? Okay. My aim is truly atrocious right now. Oh, and I don't have that nice VATS perk equipped, do I? But he also doesn't seem to know how to navigate this room if I come back over. here. So we're gonna exploit the weaknesses of the game's pathing. There we go. Okay. I'm kind of out of practice with the combat anyway because I'm always doing these, the first 5 visits on... Oh, there's the blood bug. On my personal server, in which case a single shot is enough to take one of these guys down. There we go. Okay. Let's take a look at this terminal in here. Skig's terminal? So, December 14th, 2077. Man, this place was a total bust. Brock said the idiots that were holed up here would have tons of good stuff, but they didn't have crap. Oh. We were going to ask the people where they stashed everything, but Cal went crazy and mowed them all down. We tossed the bodies out back, and then started setting up camp. I hope this spot was worth all the trouble. So, in case you missed the implications here, they actually came into a church filled with refugees and killed women, children, everybody. And then simply threw the bodies behind the church. Now, given that there is supernatural stuff in the Fallout universe, even if it is somewhat rare, it's pretty easy to see how that sort of thing could cause something to happen. Let's keep going here. January 20th, 2078. We've been here a few weeks and now things are looking good. We scored a couple of caravans that took apart a rival gang. We scored a couple of caravans and took apart a rival gang that tried to push us out of the church. I figure if we keep this up, we'll be sitting on a nice pile of loot by mid-year. This will give us plenty of trade when we start running low on ammunition. Cal's got us out hunting for game like the old days, so we're eating well. I wish we had a little more liquor, but everything around here is bone dry. February 2nd, 2078. Woke up in the middle of the night hearing some kind of weird music playing. I thought someone got drunk and was playing a holotape, but everyone was sound asleep. I checked around the outside of the church and couldn't hear it anymore, so I gave up. When I asked around in the morning, everyone said I was probably drunk or just being stupid. I sure hope these idiots aren't screwing with me because it's not funny to ruin a man's sleep. February 12th, 2078. The rest of the gang are starting to hear the music from the church now. This place is starting to creep me out. Cal said it was the music from something called an organ, but the only organs I know of are the kind you get when you gut a deer. I think he's full of crap. If you ask me, the folks that got killed in this place are trying to send us a message to move on. Maybe we should listen. And February 24th, 2078. First the creepy music, and now we have crazy people stalking the church. They swarmed the place last night. Weirdos looked like they were burnt and smelled awful. I don't know what the hell they wanted, but Cal was dug in and said we needed to fight for what's ours. We shot a few, but they kept coming until they were all dead. What the hell were those things? Will there be more? I'm not sticking around to find out. So this right here, from February 24th, 2078, is I think one of the earliest mentions that we have of feral ghouls. Now, it's also definitely the case that we can read about feral ghouls over in Charleston. I think it's at AVR Medical, where they talk about, it's not at AVR Medical, it's not reading, it's actually a holotape between Quinn Carter and, what is her name? Oh, I'm blanking on it right now. The woman who's in charge of the Charleston Provisional Government, where she's giving an interview, and Quinn Carter asks about zombies attacking one of the barricades, and it's like, no, these are just people that have been, that are sick with radiation poisoning. And so that's actually the first mention that we get of ghouls, but this is one of the earliest mentions we get of them here. Now we also have a prayer here. Dear Lord, I pray to you for strength and tolerance, for knowledge and confidence in these dark times. To know how to live like this, to know how to wait for you, and for the ability to help others survive this test, the test you promised would never happen again. Okay. Now I assume with the test you promised would never happen again is a reference to the biblical flood and the story of Noah, and the fact that the rainbow was supposed to be God's promise that he would never flood the world again. Okay. If we come around here, you can find a dead raider right here. You could potentially assume that this is one of the ones that was in control of the church. But we also have skeletons. And the weird part about the skeletons is that some of them we could maybe assume, like, first of all, there'd be no... Okay, back up. Getting ahead of myself here. You could maybe assume that some of these skeletons were some of the raiders, except for why would they not have flesh when this one has all the flesh? And along with that, some of them are clearly wearing civilian clothing. But the problem is, they said that they dumped all the bodies out back. So what are these skeletons doing in here? But regardless, let's check out the area downstairs. Okay, we got this little room with a steamer trunk for the location. And then along with that we got a shelf here. There are 2 sets of pastor's vestments you can find here. Did I point out all the collectible? Yes, I pointed out all the collectible locations. Okay, and I think that shows you everything except for the organ music, which does play at night. Now, if we take a look at the... See, does it show the time here? No, let's... Excuse me. Let's get out of this. And let's check the Pip-Boy. And you can see here it is 5:10. 5:11 actually now. And I think that's in the afternoon. And it doesn't start playing until late in the evening when it's very dark outside. So I'll show you a clip that I took of the music and where it is inside the church. Creepy stuff. So I do think that maybe, because again, there's no organ anywhere, so I don't know where the organ music is coming from. Because if we go in there, they do have instruments, but they don't have an organ. They have an upright piano. They've got the mouth harp, the snare drum, and the acoustic guitar. There are no organ pipes or anything like that. So, no idea where this organ music comes from that starts playing in the middle of the night in this church where raiders slaughtered a large group of innocent civilians that were trying to survive in the aftermath of the bombs. So, I'll show you the full list of all the loot you can find here now. Alright, that'll do it for Haven Church. This has been the Resident Cartographer. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again next time.